Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Lead, Sell, Grow, the Human Experience Podcast. I hope you guys are doing well. If you have not done so yet, get your butt over to Facebook, join the Lead, Sell, Grow, the Human Experience Mastermind Facebook group so we can connect there. I want to hear your thoughts on my episodes. I want to hear some ideas on how I can make it better. And I just want to connect with you and meet you. So without any further ado, I got an amazing guest today. This guy is a ball of fire. So if you're driving, pump it up. Actually, roll your windows down, turn it all the way up because your neighbors in traffic want to hear this one. I guarantee you. My guest today is Brandon Bornancin. He is the #1 selling author of 3 books. Puts me to shame with my little book. He's a serial salesperson. He sold over $100 million in sales, 8-figure entrepreneur, inventor of Seamless AI. We're going to learn about that company today. And motivational speaker who's obsessed with helping you maximize your success. Brandon, welcome to the show.
Wow. Thank you so much, Eric. I truly appreciate it. Love the intro and grateful to be here with you today. And I'm excited for us to connect when I'm in Florida here in a few. It should be awesome.
Oh man, I'm super stoked to meet you. It's always so good to meet people who are like-minded, who are growth-minded, and you're just that guy. And if you don't know him, go on YouTube, just search Brandon Bornancin. He's got shorts that you can just listen to, and they're nuggets of amazing wisdom, very quick. It won't take you too long. But Brandon, so we see you right now. I mean, you've started multiple companies, you've sold millions of dollars. I call that the fruit of the tree. Most people don't see the seeds that were planted to grow into this beautiful tree and the fruits that you've provided today. Take us back to kind of how you were raised before we get into who you are today.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks, Eric. And everyone tuning in, thanks so much for tuning in. Super excited to drop a ton of value to you in sales secrets and success secrets here today. So it all started for me back when I was growing up on the east side of Cleveland, Ohio. I was the kid that would get dropped off to the babysitter that had 30 kids. The babysitter would walk me and the 30 kids to a place in the downtown rough parts of Cleveland. We'd have a stamp. We would give the lunch people the stamp, which is called food stamps. And we'd be given a lunch sandwich and a chocolate milk carton. And then we'd play outside like for all day. And then my mom would pick me up. So I came from a family where my mom and dad had no college degree. My mom worked at a grocery store and a bank. My dad worked in construction and then actually sold at Macy's clothing store, computers in Macy's when it used to be called May Company. So we never had a lot of money. We were definitely a lower class family. And so the first thing I did growing up, getting made fun of for garage sale clothes or never having cool Nike Jordan shoes, you name it. I was like, there's got to be a better way to life. I got to figure out how to make some money and change my situation. And I think that's one of the top secrets that you've got. First is like when you are somewhere in your life that you don't love to be in, you have to assume responsibility and take full ownership to say, I'm going to change it. So as a young kid, I'm like, look, my family's not helping me get out of this situation. I got to go get a job and get the hell out of where I'm at to a better life. So the first job I got was a janitor at the largest elementary school in my city. And the reason why I took it was because it had one of the highest hourly rates at like 14, 15, 16 years old that you could get. It's like $6.25 an hour. The thing about it, what was brutal is it was from 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. So as a super young kid, I'm waking up at like 4:30, as a kid, you don't like shower, you don't do anything. You just like throw on clothes, drive, like get dropped off or drive very tired to the school. And the janitor, like I worked for another senior janitor and the janitor was super heavy and he like didn't do anything. So he had me do all of his work and there were 500 desks. I'd spend all day and night scraping gum off these desks with razor blades and then using Windex, spraying all these desks and mowing the lawn. And it was terrible. The worst experience ever. So I basically like figured out, okay, how do I make money? I got to work for money. And then when I was doing that, I'm like, paying time for money is terrible. Like doing hard labor in exchange in hours for getting paid is just not a good way to live. So I opened up the Plain Dealer. Cleveland has a big newspaper called the Plain Dealer. I was scouring the job ads and I came across this post, $7.50 an hour, unlimited commissions, make $30 to $50 an hour.
All right.
I'm like, no shit. I'm like, at this point, I'm just like 17 or something. And
wait, why weren't you in school? Did you drop out?
No. This is like, I'm working throughout high school. I'm working as much as possible throughout high school. Gotcha. And during this time. So like the call center, I had to work, I drove up there. This was for a call center, by the way. And the shift was from 4 to 9. So basically I'd go to school, I think like 7 or 8 to 3 p. And then I'd get out of high school and then go, and I'd go, this job was from 4 to 9, 4 to 10 p.m. Yep. So when I applied, I got there and like, I didn't know what a call center was. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew it was the highest paid hourly job with unlimited earning potential, right? And you could totally tell these ads were scam ads, right? To get people like hooked to apply. Yeah. Get to the call center. That's when I was first introduced to sales. You've got like 50 people on the phones looking at these screens that are literally black and green font, super old school. Like the beige screens, black screen, green font with scripts all over them. And by the way, 1/3 of the call center was filled with smoke because literally you could still smoke in buildings and shit.
Oh, so my God.
I get into this call center, I interview, and they're like, look, the hourly rate is $7.50. You make all 100 calls an hour or whatever it was. And every $100 that you sell over the phone, you get another 25 cents in commission per hour. So I didn't know how to sell, right? I get started in I just got introduced into sales, didn't know how to sell. And I just started seeing all these people who were making 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks an hour, closing all of these deals. And I just started following what they did. And the call center was literally, we didn't have a product. We were cold calling people on behalf of the police, firefighters, asking them for donations. So of course, the first few weeks I sucked. And then I started figuring out how to sell, how to script, how to pitch, tonality, energy, you name it. And then, went from $7 to $10 to $15 to $20 to $30 an hour just by selling so many deals. And that's when I saw the power of selling. And I'm like, I got to get into sales. Like, to become financially free, sales is the key. And then from there, went to college and launched a company, a tech sales company for the online gaming industry. And luckily, pairing what I learned from the call center to, I figured out how to build a crawler that built a big list to sell online gaming to college students, built a $12 million company in 3.5 years in college. And then they made online gaming illegal in the US. So like, I basically built this killer, I built this amazing company, that did $12 million in sales. And then towards the end of my college, they made online gaming, they shut it down in the US. I was like, well, shit,
Online gaming, are you talking about gambling or what kind of gaming?
Yeah, I'm talking about like poker sites, party poker, full tilt poker, Poker Stars, and then you've got the online gaming casinos too. Mm-hmm. My PR guy over here, Keegan, Keegan, shoot to yourself real quick. So if you're watching the video, Keegan's like, hey, talking about gambling, PR, let's call it gaming. And I'm like, it is online gaming, but yeah, online gambling.
Gotcha. No, my kid, I got a 13-year-old. It seems like all the games now are online. You can't even go buy a disc for a PlayStation 5. Everything's online.
Oh, it's the easiest. Yeah. So that's when I figured out that sales lists are the key to success, because I built this crawler and these lists of all the college students, and I sold to all of them to join and to basically be represented by me to get them signed up at Party Poker, Full Tilt Poker, Poker Stars. That's how it did 12 million. Then they shut it down in the US, and I'm like, shit, I've got all this money. I lived off the money for a year. And then I'm like, I got to go find a job.
How much money did you have? I mean, I know you built a $12 million company, but what did that equate to as a college kid in your bank account?
It's a great question. I mean, there's a shitload of money in ads and landing pages.
Sure.
Like it's 7 figures, but it's not like I got to keep $12 million because you've got so much money in ads. Web development back then was super expensive too. Like, by the time you buy a few cars, buy property in Florida, like the millions goes down to hundreds of thousands. And then like after you live off the hundreds of thousands, you're like, okay, I need to make money again.
Yeah, I got to sell my Ferrari. Let me ask you
Yeah.
really quick. I just got to back up a little bit, okay? Because I'm into personal growth. I coach people on mindset. And I'm pretty sure you've heard of Bob Proctor, let's say.
Oh, yeah. P&G.
Got it. So what he's talking about, the paradigm, right? Bob teaches, while he was alive, he taught about this paradigm and having a paradigm shift. You were programmed from as a young kid to see the world through the eyes of your parents. They were poor, probably heard things like, we don't have enough money. We got to shop for clothes at
coupons,
coupons, food stamps, garage sales. Your parents work. You said your dad worked 2 different jobs. Your mom worked 2 different jobs at the same time. And that's exactly what you started doing. But where did you realize where was your paradigm shift where you were like, hold on, this isn't the only way? And then where'd you even have the belief in yourself to create a company that's $12 million?
Man, it wasn't really like I never wanted to be broke and poor again, right? So the goal was always to figure out like what's the best way. Like growing up, it was always about what's the best way to get out of poverty.
Did you see others out of poverty? Were you hanging out in those crowds?
No, dude. I mean, like when you're broke, you're around people who do drugs and don't have money and, do dumb shit and drink and all that jazz, right? So I knew I was broke. All the people around me were broke and doing dumb things. So I just said, like, I got to figure out a way to create a better life for myself. And then that's when I got the call center job, that's when I met my first millionaire, Jerry from Jersey, who owned the call center. And I remember asking him, I was like, what's the best way to become rich, to become financially free? And he's like, you got to master sales. He's like, that's why I want you to memorize these scripts. That's why I want you to, figure out how to be successful here at the call center. He was really trying to sell me to just be good at the call center job to make him money. But that lesson taught me, okay, there's a better way. You could use sales to become financially free. You could use sales to break out of poverty and create the life that you want for your family. And then from there, when I went to college, it was like, okay, I need to find a product that I can sell in quantities large enough to pay for school, to make money, to do what I want, right? Because my parents never were able to really give me anything. So when I went to college, I was always looking for something. I don't think I went to college like I want to be an entrepreneur, but I just wanted to do whatever it takes to find something, to build something, and to sell something. And the poker thing was luck. The online gaming was luck because I was a big, avid online gambler. Like I was a big poker player. Like gamblers, strong words. I was an online poker player all the time playing online Texas Hold'em. And everyone would ask me. And then when people kept asking me where to play, I was like, I'm going to cold call these online poker companies and then I'm going to market and sell for them. And then that was history. And that was when I really realized like sales and entrepreneurship, you can really achieve financial freedom. And that's why I was like, I'm forever going to go into sales and entrepreneurship forever. Like the only people that change this world forever for the better are salespeople and entrepreneurs. The only way that economies get created are salespeople and entrepreneurs. Everything in life is a sale. So if you master sales, you can accomplish anything that you want in this life.
Hey, that's the motto right there. And it wasn't luck. You know that. It's universal laws. Seek and you shall. You're going to find it. See, most college kids go to college for what? They're out there trying to get some booty, get drunk, party, maybe learn, whatever. They didn't go to they weren't like, how do I make money, right?
Mm.
So I don't think it was luck, man. I think you.
No, I was always working 16 to 18-hour days, probably 7 days a week for forever. Now I work probably 10 hours a weekend every day on the weekend. I'll work like probably 17 to 18 hours a day during the week. And then on the weekend, I cap out at like 8 to 10 hours because the week is so intense. So like, I love just doing what I do. And by the way, the more I've worked, the more impact I've made, the more people I've served, the more money I've made,
Oh man,
the more
that's
money my company has made. Like, it's very simple. Every time I tried to find or pay for a secret to success, like a shortcut, I lost money. Every time I invested playing the long game, playing the game of helping people, playing the game of serving people, playing the game of every day I will go all out. Right? Like, for example, your book, B2B Sales. It's an amazing book, guys. If you haven't picked this up, this thing's like a hot seller right now, right? But to write a book takes like a year or years, and it takes hours every day, 365, right?
mm-hmm.
If you're playing the short game, you will never write a book. If you're playing the long game like Eric, you'll be like, hey, I can serve more people at scale. I'm going to invest the time to share my knowledge with people, and I'm going to write a book. I'm going to build a company. And you'll forego short-term gains, like writing a book, like building a company, like starting to sell your products and services. If you're selling the right way of servant leadership and service, you may close less people in the short term, but over the long term, you'll close a massive multiplier, 3, 5, 10x the people, because service and helping others always returns greater returns, long-term returns, compounding returns over time.
So true, brother. So true. Okay, so now you're out of college. You got this $12 million company that you no longer have because gaming is illegal. What's next?
I end up launching, like, it's crazy. It's really hard to like go through these stories because they're just fucking wild. We'll do a documentary Netflix video on it. But my buddy and I are walking through college campus. I get a text message from Mark Zuckerberg on my flip phone, Star Trek Motorola flip phone. I'm walking down college campus, probably hungover with my buddies, get the text message on a Saturday. You've got a friend request. I open it up. I'm like, what the hell is this? This is the first time Facebook went from computer to mobile. And they didn't even really have a mobile site. It was just text message to drive you back to the desktop website.
What
And
year
right
is this?
then,
Like 2004, 5?
this is 2006, 2007. Okay. So I flip open the Motorola phone and I'm like, holy shit, mobile marketing is the future. So then I launched this company called InMobile, and I built this mobile marketing software company. Quickly, long story short, I did not know B2B sales, and I couldn't build the list of B2B companies to sell InMobile to. And over the next 3 to 4 years, I lost $4 million, went bankrupt, and had to get a job in sales and quit entrepreneurship. So I basically went from rich to broke. I went from broke to rich to broke in a matter of like 8 years. And then right then and there, I was like, okay, I can't start another company. I have no money. I literally said, I never will be an entrepreneur again. I'm done. I hate entrepreneurship. So then my buddy who started InMobile with me, Jake, he goes and gets a job at IBM Interactive to in like digital marketing, and he recruited me to sell for them. So I joined IBM Interactive. While I was selling for IBM, I knew from InMobile I needed to build the list of all the B2B marketers I needed to sell to. And I figured out a way to automate some of that. And then I ended up leaving IBM and going to sell for Google. I had a ton of success at IBM, sold like up to $50 million in deals. And then at Google, I was selling, and I figured out a way to fully automate list building for sales because that was taking up 50% of my time. Became a millionaire in sales, selling for Google because I had this technology. And then when I started making 6-figure commission checks a month using my secret tool, I realized, you know what? I'm financially free. I want to help every salesperson in the world, an entrepreneur and marketer in the world, leverage this secret tool to do the same. So may quit my job to go all in on seamless AI, and took years to build. And then we launched it and went from 0 to millions, to tens of millions, to now we're valued at $1 billion company. And that's what I do full time now, the CEO of Seamless.ai. We find emails and cell phones for everyone in the world that you need to sell to. It's Google search engine meets artificial intelligence, IBM Watson. So you could type in any title, any company, any list requirements, and then our search engine will find all the contacts and companies that you need to sell to. And then we use AI to research, validate, and verify their cell phones and emails. So B2B sales, 50% of your success is the list. The life you want, the film you want, the freedom you want, the money you want is only going to be fueled by the list that you can build in B2B sales and the list that you can sell in B2B sales.
And picking up the damn phone, because you could have every list in the world, but if you're not going to pick up
100%.
that phone, you're not making a sale.
And that's the other half of it, right? It's like 50% is the list.
Yeah.
And then the other 50% is the damn scripts, the training, the sales activity, the motivation, the mindset. And if you combine those two, you can become financially free. So it took years to build, but now it's seamless. We've got a mission to help the world connect opportunity and win our President's Club awards, which means you've generated over $1 million in sales. Six-figure club award, you generate over $100,000 in sales. We've got 14,105 winners in the six-figure club. Seven-figure club, we've got 4,313 seven-figure club award winners.
Okay, so this is people using Seamless AI to reach out, make some sales. And is the software tracking it? Tell me about the software.
Yeah. So the software tracks the appointments, the deals, the revenue generated. Some of it has to include some estimation just because we don't have the full back end to everyone, right? But appointments held using Seamless by our users. So we've got almost 1 million users. They've generated 14,660,000 appointments. They've closed 2.9 million deals. Revenue generated is 29.32 billion. And then 14,105 six-figure winners, 4,313 seven-figure club winners, 497 eight-figure club winners. And I track it every day. And then those numbers get shared with the 500 employees that work for me at our company. We share it with the whole company every day. This is why we do what we do, changing people's lives.
Are you doing any type of automation with?
Oh, great question. So, I mean, we automate the data and the sales leads.
Okay.
Right now, we're not involved in email automation, calling automation, calendar automation. And here's why. You know, a mentor, Tony Robbins, once when I was at one of his masterminds, he said, when you are starving on an island and you see 3 rabbits, nothing else to eat on the island but 3 rabbits. If you try to catch all 3 rabbits at once, you will not catch anything and you will starve to death and you will die. So, and what he was trying to tell me was, don't try to do 50 things at once. Like, big businesses are built making one massive big bet, going all in on that. And then once you can get to 100, 200, 300 million, then scale. The companies and the people that try to do 50 things. This is also why, Eric, would love to hear your opinion. This is why I hate, I'm going to use the word hate and be polarizing. This is why I hate seeing social media posts tell people you should diversify your income and have 10 different income streams. There are, what was it, B-Rock? There were 2,700 billionaires in the world. They all became billionaires by betting on one thing. The millionaires, there's 56.8 millionaires globally. 56.8 million millionaires. Yeah. 2,700 billionaires, 56.8 million millionaires in the world. The majority of every single one of them made one big bet. It's not by making 1 million bets. It's not by getting into building a wealth management company and then building 19,000 other companies or having 50 side hustles. It's going all in on your B2B sales job and making a shitload of money, becoming a millionaire, and then investing that money in another vehicle that could then grow while you're making a ton of money in B2B sales. All these people on LinkedIn and everywhere, they're like, you got to have 13 side hustles. I'm like,
No,
dude, you have
yeah,
13 side hustles. You're not making any money.
13 rabbits there. I think you have to find some passive income opportunities where you can invest, still focus on the one rabbit, but have other areas where money's just coming in from investments. But I totally agree with you. If you can't focus on more than one thing, there's just no freaking way.
100%. And this is like an easy way to break this down is if you've got, let's just say there's 1,000 tech companies on the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. If you put $100 into all 1,000 companies, the numbers won't move much.
Nope.
But right now, stock tip, Salesforce is priced at like the lowest it's ever been in a year. So what you would want to do right now is not invest in $100 into 1,000 companies. You want to take that money and go all in on 1, 2, 3. Right now it's $151. Go to 1 year average. Keegan's pulling it up right now. It's down 43%. Go to 5-year average. 5-year average, it's up 58%. 1 year average, Salesforce is down $160 a share, 43%. So what do you want to do? You want to invest $100 into 1,000 different tech companies?
Nope.
Or do you want to make 3, 5, or 1 big bets? I would go all in right now on Salesforce because that shit's going to skyrocket again. And Keegan, B-Rock, remind me to call my broker right after this. I'm going to actually minimize some of my holdings and push it all like even harder.
Good for you. Good for you. Okay, awesome. So you're focusing on just generating leads. You got this thing that's scrubbing and verifying that the sales number or the phone numbers are actually to the right contacts in the right companies.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it scrubbing. So the reason why Sergey Brin and his wife, Shannon, the founders of Google, invested in Seamless is because we built the most advanced proprietary search engine that could find any contacting company in the world. So we sift the petabytes, the billions of petabytes of data globally on the web about anyone and any company. And then we prioritize it, analyze it. And then we could take the important data points to tell you, here are the contacts that the company is currently working there that you should sell to. Then we use AI. This is why Amazon invested in Seamless. This is why Dun & Bradstreet invested in Seamless. Then we use artificial intelligence to research the cell phones and emails and direct dials of every contact in B2B. Any professional in the world, we research their cell phones, emails, and direct dials. And we do that using a 10-step AI research engine. Took me 3 to 4 years to build with a really amazing engineering team. And that all happens in 1 second, you know?
Wow.
So we find everyone that you need to sell to in like 2 seconds. And then we research their cell phones, emails, and direct dials in another second. And that way, instead of spending half your day, 50% of your time trying to build lead lists, trying to scour millions of websites, looking for emails, looking for phone numbers, looking for copying and pasting the name into CRM, copy and pasting the title into the CRM, the phone numbers, the company names, all this bullshit right into your CRM. You just click one button, boom, everyone I need to sell to. Another button, boom, cell phones and emails and direct dials for everyone. Another button, now it's all imported into my CRM.
Wow. And you can filter certain company types. Let's say I'm looking for companies in a certain geographical area.
Any filter, location, industry, revenue, growth, employee size, tech, funding, tech stack, like any sales headcount, like you could search anything that you need to search. Wow. And that's why we have so many, 29 billion. We just crushed the 29 billion in revenue generated on behalf of our user mark. That's why we've been able to do that.
Huge.
The 14.66 million appointments, because it allows salespeople to spend more time with their family and their loved ones, cutting out all the bullshit wasted. If there's 40 hours in a week, you're on average spending 20 hours on list building a week. That's freaking almost 100 hours a month. It's insane.
Dude, so I just picked up and moved to Florida not too long ago. Like I don't know anybody here. I don't know any companies here, but I do corporate trainings. So me getting Seamless AI would save me a ton of time and research. Have you ever used Reference USA while you were in sales?
Oh my gosh, that platform is like 50 years old, I feel like.
That's what it was when I started, man. I
Mhm.
remember the pain.
I remember being in like high school, going to my library
Yes, you had to have a
and
library card.
seeing Reference USA.
You had to log into the library, and in there was a Reference USA tab. And so I remember I was selling copiers, right? I get out of the Marine Corps in
I love
2006.
that, selling copiers.
I was selling copiers in Baltimore. I didn't even know who the hell used the copier the first day I was on a job, but I was selling them. And I look at Reference USA. I call this person up and I'm like, and back then they tell you, just tell them that they asked you to, they asked you to call them back in 30 days and you're just calling them back in 30 days. So me being young and stupid, I call and I'm like, hey, just I spoke with Bob 30 days ago, and just last time we talked, he asked me to call him back in 30 days. It was a small mom and pop shop. His wife picked up. She's a widow because Bob died like 4 years ago. I'm like, oh my God. So the need for actual information, like I never forgot how it felt. Like that was 2006.
Right?
That was a long time ago. I've never forgot how I felt when that happened, and never did that again. But the importance of an accurate list, you're absolutely right, 50%.
Yeah. I mean, and you could tell me how much you think you spend, but for you to build a list of all the people and the companies in freaking Florida, it's gonna take you forever. So what's cool is you can log into Seamless for free, build your list, and now you've got, you could do it by zip code, right? Or by geography or city where you're at. I know where you're at. I won't broadcast it, but in that Tampa area, and I would hit all the B2B companies. I would probably pick that employee size you're targeting. I'd hit up the VPs of sales, chief revenue officers, VPs of revenue, biz dev, directors too, maybe the C-suite. And I'd have that list built in 5 to 10 minutes, imported into HubSpot, Salesforce, whatever your CRM is. And then I'd start making the calls, emails, social touches, launching my sales campaigns. You'll have a flooded calendar in no time. And,
No doubt.
you'll be growing that Florida business insanely fast.
Yeah, man. No, that's freaking awesome. Okay, so what else should I have asked you about Seamless AI that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I just covered it. Anyone
Okay.
tuning in, everyone that's listening to the podcast, the Lead Sell Grow Show, literally we're giving everyone a free license. So you go to seamless.ai, you could type in Lead Sell Grow, one word or multiple words as the referral code. We're going to hook you up with $500 in free credits. And then if you want essentially an unlimited license, it's just less than $100 a month per user on your sales team. Anyone can buy it themselves or their whole team can buy it. I wanted to democratize the ability to connect to opportunity, my team and I. When I say yeah, it's like $100. Not
borrow that from your kids.
Exactly. Not 100,000. Like when I was selling for IBM, I'd be spending 100,000 a month on these old, outdated, expensive databases. That was over $1 million. And we had a few sales databases. So we were spending like 3 to 10 million. So when we built Seamless, I was like, I really wanted anyone to be able to use it at any point in time in the world. And that's why we're like, it's got to be under $100. Anyone can use it. And let's help if every salesperson could be using it every day, we're winning.
Brandon, what stops, besides not having a list, what do you see stopping salespeople from achieving the massive success that you've had?
4 pillars. Number 1, the list. Covered it, right? Number 2, the scripts. So, I figured out how to go from Eric just selling copiers, just following up in a CRM every 30 days, not knowing how to sell, to realizing like everything in life is a sale and everything you want, is going to be created by sales. And like every situation pretty much uses the same types of scripts. Like you run into the same things over and over again in sales. I'm not interested. No budget. It's too expensive. Already working with someone. Send me more information. Call me back later. I'm not the right person. I'm already working with X. Reach out to my boss. Unsubscribe. How much is it? After that, there's not much left to say. Tell me more.
In your intro. I mean, how many people just stumble on their intro?
Yeah. So the scripts. The scripts is part 2. Once you have the list, you need to have the scripts and the campaigns. And I'm not just talking call scripts, right? I'm talking call scripts. I'm talking email scripts. I'm talking LinkedIn scripts. I'm talking your sales discovery scripts. How do you open up your pitch and go through effective sales discovery? How about your pitch? How do you do value-driven pitch based on everything you learned from your sales discovery, and then closing and objection handling and next steps and moving the deal forward? All of these things require different scripts. So I think number 2 most important thing to do is become a master at script writing, memorization, testing, optimizing.
Can I share some with you really quick before you head to number 3, Brandon? I was the most resistant freaking salesperson when it came to scripts. I used to say, screw that. It's not natural. It's not. I had every excuse. While I'm not robotic, everybody I sell to is different. And just in the past 3 years or so, I had an epiphany that you absolutely have to have a script. And here's why. Anything in this world has been created twice. First, it's been created in our mind. Like, think about your house. Think about the chair. Think about the studio you're in. First, you have to think of it. Then you probably had blueprints for it. You had to see what it would look like on paper. Can you imagine walking up to somebody who's just laying down bricks? And you're like, what are you building? He's like, I don't know. I'm just laying bricks down. We'll figure it out at the end. And that's what happens when you build a script. You think through the conversation ahead of time. You have a blueprint for it. You know how you're going to say hello. You know what tonality you're going to use. You know what speed, what energy. You're going to anticipate what they're going to say back to you. Man, it's a blueprint for the conversation. If you ever want to build something great, you have to have a blueprint. So I started doing scripts. And the reason, what I noticed when I started writing out scripts, and it's quick, like before, I have a few that are standard, but when I call someone, I'm intentional about the conversation beforehand. I think through, what am I going to say if they pick up? What am I going to say if it's a voicemail? I write that down, and when they pick up, I'm more prepared. I don't stumble. I don't stutter. It just comes off naturally. I've done it already, right? So scripts are huge. If you're not using a script, take your time to write it out. All right, my bad. What's number 3?
No, I love that. And to that point, I love the analogy, Eric, that you had, right? I mean, script writing and script preparation is training for the game. Like, every time you connect with a prospect, you're playing a game. Obviously, you want to deliver value and transform their life, but you need to know the plays to run. Like, I learned about script because I used to think when I started in sales the same thing. Oh, I'm not going to be a robot. Scripts don't work. I don't want to sound like I'm reading. And then I had an epiphany. I was watching a movie, The Great Gatsby, with Leonardo DiCaprio. And I'm like, this is like one of the highest paid actors in the world. I'm like, how is he so good? And they talked about how often he practiced the scripts over and over and over again. He would practice the scripts from morning till passing out every single day, every single week, every single month. And I'm like, why is this guy practicing the scripts so much? And they're like, he's able to act like one of the best actors in the world. And I'm like, holy shit, every movie is scripted. If you watch any movie, do they sound like they're freaking reading a script? Hi, my name is Great Gatsby. How are you today? No, they're acting. They're all out. It's all scripted. Every single word, every single scene is scripted. If it works for movies, it works for salespeople. That was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, holy shit, I got to become an expert at scripts. The second time I noticed it, I was watching my favorite football player, Tom Brady. They said Tom Brady spends most of his time on 2 things. Number 1, developing plays, studying plays. And number 2, studying game film. So he's spending all of his time working on plays and then studying the game film of how the plays were executed. That's the same. Scripts are plays in the game, the football game. It's you versus your prospect. You're trying to help your prospects to show them that you can transform their life with your products and services, and you're going to change where they're at today to where they want to go. And you've got all these plays on offense. The prospects have all these objections and things that they're going to say on the defense. And if you're prepared to throw that touchdown pass and score the winning touchdown and get that appointment, get that sale, It's the same thing. So watching Leonardo and watching Tom Brady really changed the way that I thought about scripts.
Leo came to mind when you were talking about the call center. I'm like, my man went to work for the Wolf of Wall Street.
Jerry from Jersey definitely had long, greasy hair. It reminded me of some of those guys from those movies for sure.
Yeah. All right.
But that
What's
taught me
number
how
three?
to sell. And like what was cool is we were fundraising for like nonprofits. Granted, the call center probably kept a big portion of it, which I didn't find out till like decades later. But yeah, it's wild.
Dude, I got to tell you real quick. So I have a 9-year-old who came to me a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, so this is the company we started called Candy for a Cause.
I love that.
And I think it was his way to it was his way to get a cotton candy machine in the house. So he came to me, and a year ago, just to backtrack, I heard him asking for candy for my wife, and he said, "Mommy, can I have some candy?" Obviously, she's like, "No." So she goes upstairs. I'm like, "Dude, you got the wrong ask. You're embarrassing me. Come on." So I said, "Look, here's how you do it next time Mommy's here. You say, 'Mommy, do you want me to have candy now or after I eat?'" Right? You
Ooh.
don't give her yes or no. So he's like, "Okay." So forward a year later, by the way, he's eaten a lot of candy. He sold her on the idea of candy after he eats. He's coming into my office. He says,
Awesome.
"Daddy, I have an idea for a business." I'm like, "Okay." He said, "Do you want to be my partner, or do you want to give me money so I can just go start it on my own?" He's 9 years old. I'm like, "Well, tell me about this business idea." He said, "We make cotton candy, we sell cotton candy, and we give money to help the homeless." I'm like, "All right, I'll be your business partner." So when I got a cotton candy machine, dude, we're like 3.5 weeks in, we've sold a little over 2,000, like $2,500. Here's a check or money order for $650 that we're donating to a homeless organization here in Sarasota. And
That's wild.
it's just been beautiful. But this last weekend, we were in a toy store selling cotton candy. Like the owner of the toy store, Toy Lab in Sarasota. If you're there, go check it out. Awesome people. Gave us a little table, and my kid Mikey, he's there in our shirts, and people walk up, and I'm like, "Mikey, tell them what you do." And I really didn't realize that I did not teach him what to say. And here's a 9-year-old kid looking up at this person, and he's like, so we have buckets of cotton candy, and you can also win this $25 gift card." And then he looks at me, and I'm like, I didn't prep him. And then I gave him a script. And when you're teaching a 9-year-old a script, I said, we do 3 things. So when somebody comes up, you say, first of all, you say, "Hey, can I tell you what we're doing here?" He's like, "Okay, got it." I said, "Number 1, we're selling cotton candy. It's $5 for a container. 25% of everything we sell goes to help the homeless. Can you repeat that?" We went back and forth like 5 times. He got it flawlessly. People are coming in. "Can I tell you what we're doing here? We're selling cotton candy. It's $5 a container. 25% of everything we sell is going to go help the homeless." Dude, people were giving him $20 for one cotton candy jar just so he could go donate some. It was great.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Keep
Power
going.
of a script.
Dude, that's amazing. And one tweak there, instead of saying like 25 cents or 25%, I would tweak the script real quick, and I would say, "And for every bucket that we sell, we give a dollar or more to the homeless. We're trying to raise millions
Ooh.
for the homeless or whatever." And like that way, because I don't want them to think of math. 25% times $5, what is that? $1.25. Just, hey, and every bucket we sell, we donate a dollar. See if that works.
Okay.
That's amazing, dude. I love that. That's amazing that your son's doing that. And I bet you he's fearless now that he knows what to say.
Yeah. He was fearless before. He just didn't know the importance of it. But
Yeah.
now,
And it's
yeah,
so critical that he knows that. And tell him huge congratulations.
I
And you
appreciate
know
it.
what I'm going to do? Yeah, B-Rock, make sure his son gets a license to Seamless. Let's take Candy for a Cause to every B2B company in Florida. And then he could sell tens of thousands of dollars to B2B companies.
Oh,
Because
dude.
that's
Oh,
awesome,
thank
man.
you. I appreciate it.
That's
Thank you
amazing.
so much.
I love what you're doing and teaching your son, and hopefully a lot of parents are doing that, and it's incredible.
I really appreciate it. I want to encourage entrepreneurship as much as anybody. We need that. We really do. All
It's
right.
hard.
So number
Third
one,
one.
list. Number two, we got script. Three.
Three, this is very simple. It's activity. If you're not putting in the work and putting in the activity, you're not going to do shit. If you're not building the lists, if you're not writing the scripts, if you're not making the calls, sending the emails, doing the social touches, like you have to do the activities, the top of funnel activities that book the appointments and close the sales. It's very simple. Leads, appointments, sales. If a sale for you is worth $1,000, that means on the average conversion rate, an appointment, let's just say every appointment closes at 20%, that freaking appointment is worth $200. Okay, well, let's just say that every lead closes at 10%. Well, now we know the freaking, we got $1,000. Okay, we got 5 appointments equals $1,000. Each appointment is worth $200. Okay, well, that means it takes 20 leads to generate an appointment, because 20 leads times a 10% conversion rate, that means I need 200 leads to book the appointment. For me to generate $1,000, I need 1,000 leads times 10% to freaking 100 appointments, 10 sales, and you made 10 grand. So
You're
like
a numbers guy, huh?
the only way, yeah, and the math is, I multiplied the math a little bit in the explanation, but when you got to know what you want to make, you got to know how many leads, appointments, and sales it takes, and you got to do the activity, the sales activity to book the appointments, turn the lists into appointments and the appointments into sales. It takes a shitload of calls, emails, social touches. If you've got 100 leads, I would assume it's going to take 200, 300, 400, 500 touches to get that list booked into appointments.
Yeah.
And
And
get those appointments closed into sales.
get creative, people. Don't be that person that's just either sending emails or just doing LinkedIn outreach, emails, LinkedIn. Pick up the phone and call. Just pick up the freaking phone. You know you're afraid to pick up the phone. Just pick it up.
Yeah.
Go stop in. I don't know. Do something
Most
different.
of our sales are done over the phone. Like
It has to be.
60 to 70% of our deals are done over the phone primarily.
I get excited when I get a phone call from a live person who's cold calling me these days. I promise. I swear to God, they're so far and few between.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And then the fourth one. So let's just say you're building the list, you're writing the scripts, you're doing the sales activity. The last and final one is training. Like Tom Brady spends the majority of his time watching game film, training, getting better, becoming the best football player in the world. It's all about training every day. I've got a rule with my employees and I. We have to improve 1% a day. If we improve 1% a day by the end of the year with compounding interest, we would have improved over 37x. This means if you make 100 grand and you improve 1% a day, you'll be worth $3.7 million by the end of the year.
How do you measure that for your employees?
Great question. I mean, so training as a whole, I recommend picking an area that needs improved based on the data. So let's just say my conversion rate from leads to booked appointments is really low. Okay, well, that could mean my conversion rate. That could mean my scripts are off, my activity's off, my tonality's off, my energy's off. So you just got to figure out what data point do I need to improve most, train to improve that data point, to improve that conversion rate. And then you just move to the next thing that you need to improve the most. And really just prioritize it based on income. Like, what can I work on right now that would make the most amount of money, that would help me serve the most amount of customers, and work on it.
Dude, I love what you said. Copier business, they would say sales is a numbers game, right? The more calls you make, the more sales you're going to make. The problem with that analogy is that if you're making shitty calls and you're not analyzing, and you're just making more shitty calls, you're still going to get the same amount of no's. Yeah, make more calls, but you got to improve the quality of the call too.
100%. 100%. Like not related to sales, but health, right? If you're like, oh, I want to lose weight. Like if you just say, oh, I should just work out more, and then you're eating fast food, you're drinking pop, you're sitting on the couch all day doing nothing, you're not going to lose the weight. by going to the gym for 30 minutes or 60 minutes because all these other factors are off. Like you got to look at, you want to lose weight. Okay. You got to look at all these variables. What's your workout? How long? What's the heart rate? What's the fat burn? Okay. What are you eating every day? What are you eating? Like the proteins, the fats, the carbs of everything that you eat, you need to track scientifically. Water. How much are you intaking in water? Then you need to know how much are you sleeping? Like, so there's 5 to 10 different factors in losing weight or whatever health goal. And the same, you got to manage and track all of that activity. The same goes with sales. And then you train on the part that you're weak. You know, like for health, I love chocolates and I love sweets, right? And I, you never want to put in the food tracker. Yeah, I just ate a big chocolate bar. Like, it's always funny. I'm great at inputting food into my food tracker when I eat fucking clean. And then on the weekend, when I eat like shit, I'm like, I don't know why the food tracker has no data in it. This is weird. I forgot to put the full cheese pizza I ate into the food tracker, you know? But in sales, you want to track everything, right? We talked about the activity, track the activity, and then you train on the 1 or 2 KPIs that you need to improve. And if you don't know what to improve, right, then you hire different trainers like Eric to help coach you. Hey, let me see all your data. Eric and people like me and Eric will be able to tell you, hey, try focusing on 1, 2, 3 things to improve that data and then come back to me in a week. Come back to me in a month.
Are, once you put all the data on paper, you'll know it without us even showing you, right? It's just that people don't
100%.
track it. It's
yeah,
so
the way
cool.
that we built a $1 billion company in 4 years, you know, a company worth $1 billion is number 1, the list, number 2, the scripts, number 3, the activity, number 4, the training.
Very cool.
And then ultimately you have to have massive goals and a positive, coachable, hardworking mindset. That's why I wrote this book, Whatever It Takes, because like 50% of your success is your mindset. So at the core, the foundation of all your success is mindset. Being positive, being coachable, being hardworking, doing whatever it takes, never being a victim, never blaming your circumstances for where you're at, assuming full extreme ownership, for doing massive amounts of activity, for setting huge goals that you think are complete bullshit. And then you'll actually achieve those goals over time. All of these habits I talk about in Whatever It Takes. And then when you apply that mindset with the 4 pillars to sales success, you can accomplish anything.
Man, love that. I can talk to you all day, Brandon. You're freaking awesome. Thanks for spending the time with us. How can people find you and reach out to you?
Yeah, so I do a daily newsletter. Sign up for the daily newsletter at seamless.ai.com. We've got a daily podcast called Sales Secrets. You can tune in there, and then also connect with me on LinkedIn and YouTube. I drop daily sales secrets to help you maximize your success and go from broke to financially free. That's our goal. Help you win 7-figure club, go from broke to financially free, connect to opportunity, positively impact billions. So, and join, by the way, Lead, Sell, Grow. Go to seamless.ai, type in that coupon code, $500 gift for you. That was part of the deal. Eric's like, if you come on, you got to give a gift to the audience. And I'm like, done. Let's give them $500. Go to seamless.ai, join for free, put in Lead, Sell, Grow in the bonus code. We'll make sure you get taken care of because Eric's a great guy and he's going to cover it for you and rock and roll.
We appreciate you for being here, Brandon. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, man. Great time. And let's make this next year, everyone tuning in, your biggest and best year yet.
Absolutely. See you guys in the next episode. Thanks for joining today.